Good evening, all. This is of second session by MSubbu Academy. I'm very happy to render this since this is very much needed for these skills are very much needed for the young talents, especially. So when we studied, no, we don't have those kind of opportunities, but now you people have this kind of opportunity. So better utilize this to the fullest extent. So this is the one of the important sessions. We are going through the EPC. Many of you are aware that EPC, what is EPC means, like engineering, procurement, and construction. So those companies or those industries, what kind of skill set needed, that I am going to tell. So my name is Thirumalai Duraisamy. I will continue with that, my small introduction about myself. So myself is graduated from CIT, BTech Chemical Engineering. In addition, I have acquired diploma in industrial safety from Normal University and diploma in training from the Indian Institute of Training and Management, and then postgraduate diploma in business administration, and also from National Productivity Council, the Certified Energy Manager. And one of the UK Academy, I attended this certified ASAP leader training courses also. I'm the certified ASAP leader. In addition, I have the qualification of a journal trainer, during which I have actually conducted several training sessions for the school students, college students, and also the industrial workers. Overall, I have 30 plus years of professional working experience in various national and international petrochemical, oil and gas industries, both the EPC as well as the production companies. Okay. Before going further, I wanted to tell this will be like three part. First part will be this presentation, and then we'll go with a small mock test, and then question and answer session. This will be the presentation contents. So everyone will be thrilled to know different terms used in the EPC companies actually. So this will be a good brainstormer for the persons. So it is very good to know, understand what is meaning of all these sort abbreviations. So EPC means or I told in the beginning, engineering, procurement, and construction. So basically, this is the company, the short EPC companies. Okay. So majority all over the world it is present, but this is one of the starting point for the companies. Okay, construction management. CM means construction management. CS means commissioning support or commissioning services assistance. And then BFD means basis for design or block for diagram. Okay, this is for the BFD. And then FEED means front end engineering design. Some company called this as basic engineering also, but normally the oil and gas companies or the companies mainly in the industrial terms, they call it as a FEED. Some companies, they do the pre-FEED also in case of proper data are not available in the beginning. Okay. P&ID means one of the very, very important deliverable in the EPC, all the phases, basically, whether it is a concept phase or the BFD phase or feed or detailed design phase, all the phases, the P&ID, you will come across in during your career. So that is nothing but actually piping and instrumentation diagram. Though there is no process coming here, it is actually the responsibility of the process person. Process person, what I mean is the process engineer, chemical engineer. Okay. So, piping and instrumentation diagram, this we can have down the line a separate session for this also actually, because this is the lifeline for the process engineers. So, piping and instrumentation diagram, though it is piping and instrumentation diagram, this is the ownership of the process engineer. So, as the name itself, you can find it contains all the piping details and instrumentation details. And also, if you go through the P&ID, you will come across what the process is going to happen in that, okay, in detailed way. HAZOP means it is a hazard and operability studies actually. That is in short, they call it as a HAZOP. This also will be conducted for all the projects, whether it is a feed project or detailed design project. Everywhere, every time it is being conducted, and the action points are has to be closed by the EPC companies. Hazard means it's hazard identification. This is also one of the safety studies being conducted for the all projects. In the beginning, if we conduct hazard means we will identify the what are the hazard, and then we can find out what are the countermeasures we can take in terms of design. Okay, and then also the SIL studies you will come across when you are started working in the EPC companies. That is safety integrity level studies. That is being normally conducted by a third party or even the EPC company. Some expert will be there means they can also conduct. But normally, because of the certification requirement, they will go with the third party. Even though the EPC companies are capable, they will go with the third party SIL studies. So on that studies also, they will identify the instrumentation requirement, everything, what is the SIL rating, etc., etc. So based on that, they will fix the criticality of that instrumentation or process or the controls, everything. Accordingly, they will implement the control schemes. That is the important of the SIL studies. Okay, now move on to the next slide. Okay. So, as a process engineer, you will be asked to do a lot of engineering works. I have highlighted all the major ones which you will be doing in a day-to-day life after you graduated and then going to the college, going to the EPC companies. Okay. So EPC companies, day one, normally few companies, they will allow you to do the training period means they will give you some sort of input like what are all the EPC companies doing like that, where you have to find the files, etc., etc. So those kind of orientation will be there, and then normally they will be asked to do the on the job training only. So you will be handling these kind of deliverables in your day-to-day life, and then you have to be curious to understand what does it need, and then how to deliver to your best. For example, the basis of design. It is a design document which contains all your whole plant, on what basis it is being designed, like feed specifications and then product specifications and what are all the materials, quality, and everything will be there in the basis of design. And then utilities, what is the range in which it is needed, etc., etc. The second will be this block flow diagram or process flow diagram or utility flow diagram. So many of you might be aware that or studied what is block flow diagram. It is a high level, whereas process flow diagram and utility flow diagram is a little bit more detailed one. It contains the process flow, how the process starting and ending, starting from the raw material to the production. And utilities are the main important or requirement like instrument air, nitrogen, or the potable water, etc. Those utilities also will be covered in the utility flow diagram. HMB is actually a part of process flow diagram, but normally they will make it as a separate thing because it will be having different cases of early life, mid-life, late life, like that. And then those will be prepared and then it will be submitted along with the package. Same like that, utility balance diagram. Piping and instrumentation diagram, it's in short, I told earlier, a P and ID. And then process safeguarding diagram, it is mainly containing the what are the safeguarding elements. It can be either mechanical safety devices like reliefs and rupture discs, or it can be like that controls devices like alarms and trips. Those things also covered in that process safety diagrams. Then material selection diagram, they use different type of materials in the different part of the plant, starting from your raw material to the production. It may be having different sections, but the different section, different equipment will be there. So those equipment, what are all the materials selected and being applied, that is called, that diagram is called material selection diagram. Then line designation list, especially you will be having a lot of process lines and utility lines. So the line designation list is an exhaustive list of lines, where from it is starting, where it is ending, what kind of fluid it is handling, and what is the velocity range it is being going to subject to, etc., etc. So full details of the lines will be there. In fact, this is very important document produced by the process, and then it will be used by the piping department also down the line. Equipment list is the overall equipments which is there in your project or in your plant, starting from your raw material handling to your processing, and also final equipment handling, final product handling to the discharge to the final destination. So this is all the equipments covered, not only process equipment, it covers the mechanical and electrical equipment also. It will be covered, and then further details will be sought from the electrical and the mechanical persons. But basically, this is the ownership comes to the process. Hazardous area classification schedule, you will come to know later when you are really executing this. This is very, very important thing. Some companies, it is being done by the electrical personnel. Some companies, majority of the companies, this by the process or process safety department, they will do. So it is area classification is very important to identify or apply what kind of instruments we need to purchase in the particular area, like class 1 or class 2, like that. So it is based on your fluid you are handling, hazardous fluid you are handling. Okay. So the equipment process data sheets is one of the very important. Same way, instrument process data sheet, all the process instrument ranges, etc. Properties, it is needs to be given by the process engineers. Same way, reliefs devices data sheets preparation as well as the vendor documents once they come. No? You need to have the cross-checking whether they are giving as per their requirement. That is also the process engineer duty. And then along with the instrument engineer, they will give it back to the commented to the vendors and then get the correct specification reliefs for the project. Then effluent summary is also, it's a part of process engineer job preparation. Process description, operating and control safeguarding philosophies, hydraulic calculations and line sizing report. So basically, these calculations is very, very critical and important that many companies, in fact, client companies, they demand for it, and then we need to submit with the proper annexes and validations. Okay, whether you are doing through that Excel spreadsheet or even through the simulation tools, you have to give it all the appendix and proper backups. Okay. So this is being actually verified by our, in fact, the other departments like piping also. Then finally, it will go to the company, client companies. Then HAZID and HAZAB report after the workshop is held. So what are all the points discussed? And it is a summary of what is done in that workshop. And then there will be some list of action items that has to be closed, or it has to be action item means sometimes there may be need of additional walls. Sometimes there may be some need of additional relief walls or ruptured disc. Those things has to be incorporated, and then they will close that report. We'll move on. Okay. Next slide. Okay, this is correct. Okay. So basically, process engineer's role in EPC is like this actually. So you have to, on your right hand side, you can find this, what are all the things you are having interfaces, like piping and pipelines, you have the interfaces, and also equipment related informations you need to put in, you need to understand, and definition of flow schemes, instrumentation and control, and operational parameters and safety features. So these are all the our daily routine activities when you are doing in EPC environment. On your left hand side, you can find the phases of EPC, how the EPC is started or starting point, and then how it is flows. The small circle is showing that feasibility and conceptual studies. So any project, whether it is feasible or whether it is going to further develop the engineering and then going for construction, first they will do the feasibility. Once they do the based on the some geographical needs and then especially demand forecast, etc., they will decide. So once that is passed through, then it will go to the front end engineering design or basic engineering, that phase. Once that is done, you will be having a more accurate data. And then there are some EPC companies involved during feed also this licenses and also this equipment vendors, so that they will get some more accurate cost figure, because the objective of doing front end design is we find more design factors and then arrive at more tentative cost for that total project. Then they will go for the bid engineering. Bid engineering phase is nothing but they will owner companies like ExxonMobil or Shell, the owner companies, they will prepare this document with the help of EPC again. Sometimes they will have their own engineering departments also. So with that, they will prepare the feed document. They will prepare the bid engineering in which they will ask for float it to the different EPC vendors, EPC contracting companies. That is called a bid engineering. So and once the bid is submitted to the EPC companies, they will bid for they will submit their quote, how much it will cost, overall cost, or how much only for the detailed design. So like that, they will study and propose the cost, and then finally it will go to the EPC detailed engineering of the EPC projects. So in which actually any holes in the front end engineering design or basic engineering, it will be removed, and then it will go to the market after a digital design. It will go to the separators needs to be bought by needs to purchased for that project means it will go for the equipment vendors, and then with the proper specification it will be purchased by the purchase department, and finally it will go to the construction site, and then the construction or installation will be happening, and then it will go for that pre-commissioning, commissioning, and then finally for the production. So EPC phase starting from the feasibility and conceptual studies and end at detailed design, and then procurement support, and sometimes they will go to the acceptance FAT test along with the mechanical engineer also, or along with the instrument engineer also. So factory acceptance test also, but very rarely process engineers are involved in the FATs, but mostly the specific engineers like mechanical or instrument, they will go in the EPC phase. Okay, whereas the process engineer's role limited to only the ASAP and AZID meetings attending, and then close out all the action items. So this is the overall starting to ending role of chemical engineer in the EPC industries. Okay. Now this slide is telling about that how a typical EPC organization is working. Okay. Basically, different EPC organizations are there across the globe, and they do different kinds of work. Like they can do sometimes, some companies they will do only studies and engineering. Some companies will do all starting from studies to detailed engineering, installation, construction, and commissioning. But majority of the EPC company, they will hire the construction contractor through the local entity. For example, if you are going to do a small brownfield or greenfield construction in Middle East, Saudi Arabia, or even Oman, or any other Abu Dhabi, so their expertise will not be there in the region. So they will look for the construction contractor there, and they will sign up an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, and then they will, with their help, all the procured equipment will be going to the site, and then they will do the construction and then commission. So the EPC organization setup will be like this. There may be headquarter and regional offices. This you need to understand. Actually, some companies they will have only one place, but many companies they will be having a headquarter one place and then regional office in different places. For example, if they're headquartered in UK or US, their regional offices will be there in the Middle East, especially Middle East, and also in India, because we have a lot of manpower over here, and also their working quality work will be there, and also they can meet the scheduled target, because the very, very important here in EPC is that opportunity cost actually. When there is a high profit happening, you need to do that engineering and also construction within that stipulated time. If there is a delay, there will be, you cannot get that desired margins. So that is very, very important, especially EPC environment. So ad hoc project or PMC. This some companies they will do ad hoc projects, and PMC means project management consultant. So they will do a small brownfield job, or even small as-built job. Those kind of design only drafting work. PMC means a bit of more management consulting. Means some engineering companies, for example, ex engineering company is doing feed. They wanted to verify technically whether what they did is correct or not. They will give it to some Y company and for the project management consultants. So because the client company will not be having that much adequate technical expertise or manpower, so they will give it to some other company to do the PMC. So that kind of company is also coming under the EPC only actually. So because they will be, there is no, they need no need to buy anything. They need to have only the technical expertise in all the field. So they will be doing this kind of PMC job. They will charge accordingly based on the work volume. Okay. So then the split between the head and regional office, it can be either horizontal or vertical. What I wanted to say here is you now understand that there are different offices working globally, either head office and regional offices. Say, for example, in one project, there may be different sections, raw material handling sections, and then utilities section, and then final product handling section, and then the main processing section. Like that, different sections will be there. So, if that is section wise, if there is split up is there, then that is called the vertical split. Horizontal split, it means the same work is being partly done by headquarters and then it is being also carried out by the regional office. That is called the horizontal split. So this is not the different actually. So the section wise is doing the vertical. Horizontal means it is, for example, if the same raw material handling session, you will be having some data sheet preparation. You will be having some calculations. So inside that, you will be doing some split up. Accordingly, you will do the horizontal split. So that is called horizontal split. Okay. We will move on to the next one. So I wanted to reiterate the EPC is never ending or globally it is increasing. You can see Chennai is now become one of the global EPC center. Lot of EPC companies are now opened up their regional offices over here in Chennai. Larsen and Tibro, Shell, Dow, Saipem, and TR, KBR, and then McDermott. Japanese companies like JGC, and then Hyundai, Technip Energies, Wood, Orly, Petrofac. So all these companies they are doing widespread jobs, starting from your oil and gas exploration, and then the LNG exploration on LNG processing, then chemicals and petrochemicals processing, not only greenfield and also brownfield. So they all do different kinds of business, and their business will going to grow up only. Why? Because the population growth is there, so always there is a demand for all the products. So if the product has to be produced and maintained, you need to have the companies. So the companies will have many problems like production enhancement or production difficulties. So some equipment has to be modified or added or improved. So those kind of things will be there. There are some environmental regulations. Because of that, there could be chances of some industries has to be demolished. For that also, you need to have engineers actually. So each and every companies they have a lot of clients basically. Clients means actual ownership companies. So they do different method of working. Like as I told you in the earlier slides, they do headquartered in one place, and they will have the lot of other sub offices. In fact, the Petrofac, even they are a UK company. They have the Abu Dhabi. There is a big office, and the Gurgaon also there is a Mumbai. There is a big office, and then Chennai. Likewise, almost all these companies have their all metropolitan cities. They have the office, and then why there is a this kind of expansion is they wanted to stick to the schedule. Mainly, they don't want to delay the delivery. That is very important. So, no, there is no worry about the future or the job scope, etc. So, in fact, there are two more companies are there like Samsung and Pectel that is missed here. So they are also floor also there. So they are also opening up the offices here. So it is full of flooded with jobs. To summarize, we saw the EPC company means what and what they are doing. Actually, they are making the chemistry into the product actually. Chemistry, you know what is the raw material, how their product is forming. Ammonia means nitrogen plus hydrogen is forming ammonia, okay? So it is reality how you are making the product, that is EPC companies is the first point. They are doing the engineering and then procuring and they are constructing or installation they are doing, okay? Oil and gas exploration means they will do either in onshore or offshore, or petrochemical companies means they will go to the site and then they will prepare the site and then they will construct the company over there, okay? That is the EPC company's role. And then skill requirements, we saw what are all the important things, you know. In fact, elaborated this, what are all the deliverables, and what are all the roles of the process engineer also. And then EPC companies working style also, I have explained the like headquarter and then regional offices, horizontal and vertical split. This will help. Actually, this regional offices is helping since there is a time difference is there. The same this thing, same deliverable you can work since all they are all working in the server based cloud environment. So everybody have the we are giving the access. So if the American people were working in that day, their daytime, your daytime you can work. That is the main advantage of technology and then global cloud storage. Okay, all the companies they are storing and working in the cloud only. Okay. So with this, this is one of the slide I just wanted to show because you have to be proud about what you are doing. You can see biggest one of the offshore platform, like it has the several platform structures like tie-in platform, platform, gas compression platform, etc., etc. So basically, you have to be proud of what you are doing. So this is what I wanted to say. With that, I conclude my presentation, and then we will move on to the question and answer session. Take up the test. You have to click the link. You have to take up the test. Mock test will be there. Parallelly, you can do, and then you can hear to me for that. Some of the standard question and answer which you may be expecting. Okay. So this question, if you submit, you immediately you will get that your ranking or your whatever you are, how much you are scored. Don't assume that this is the only the question paper they have. They have their own set of question paper based on their requirement. They will modify. This is one of the core subjects questions only. It is being selected only for the purpose of sample test. Huh? Okay. Now coming to the question and answers, we have actually received some of the questions. I will first read through the questions and I will tell my response actually. Okay. Question number one is, after working in EPC for few years, what other kind of jobs a chemical engineer can get, or he or she can do only in EPC for lifelong? It is up to their taste actually. So if you are willing to continue in EPC for lifelong, you can continue. If you are very much interested and you can it is aligning with your skill set or your interest, you can continue in EPC. There is no harm in it actually. So lifelong you can continue. But if you feel that you can do more contribution to that production companies or even the consulting companies or even the government organizations, you can shift based on your interest during the course of your working. So it is if you feel that you are not able to progress much in the EPC and you wanted to explore, you can do that. But there is a lot of opportunities in EPC companies. That is what I can tell you. Okay. Number two, there is another question like suitability of EPC jobs over production and process industries for the girls. So especially the EPC companies, they are looking for the skill set which they need for the EPC work basically. So irrespective of male or female or boy or girl, they are demanding only for the work output. So if but their preference is girls. Why? Because is there is a lot of enthusiasm and communication wise. The girls are better. Girl students are better, and they are actually they contribute more. Nowadays, you can see any campus recruitment. Out of five, two or three definitely girl students are coming. Only one or two boy students are coming. So it depends upon their own interest, and then how they showcase their during their interview process. So all of you aware that how the interviews are going to happen. Like first they will do a test, this kind of core subject test, and then logical test. Based on that, they will do the first level scrutiny, and then they will do the group discussion. After that, they will call for the second round of technical discussion. So after the second round of technical discussion, you will get shortlisted, and they will give the offer. Okay. So next question I wanted to read out. Will experience in production be considered for EPC jobs? As naturally, people wanted to do hard field works in the early ages in their 20s and wanted to have office job during 30s and 40s. And also, an average student will get a production job at ease than the EPC is job. This is actually somewhat true. So for EPC jobs, they will even for going to the interview stage, they will scrutinize based on your CGPA. So top 8.5, and some companies they will go for 8.5 plus. Some companies they will go for 7.5 plus, like that. So first is very important is your grading or your percentage. After that, they will select based on their own testing methodologies. Sometimes they will go with the third party also for getting them to hired. But basically, you need to equip yourself. That is more important. So you have to understand the basic concepts, and then if you are very much thorough on your chemical engineering skills, that itself very much important for that. Whether it is EPC or production doesn't matter, but your chemical engineering skills are utilized in both the places. Only thing is nowadays people think that production means it is always going to the field and all. It is not like that actually. So from the control room, everything is being monitored. Only on occasion you have to go to the field, and then you have to see the condition. Majority it is being monitored remotely through the CCTV or through the DCS, and all from the control room you can do the job. Few jobs, but yes, definitely, especially during the turnaround, you need to hold to the field and then tech. But there is not much. It is not like olden times, like very hard working is there. In production also, it is like a smart working only. Everywhere now the smart tools are coming. So it is like much difference is there. But both are equally competitive, and you have to equip yourself. That is more important. So it doesn't mean the age group. Some companies, some friends I have seen, they throughout the life they worked in that production. Some friends they worked throughout the life in the EPC. But some persons they changed their mind on the midway production to EPC and EPC to production also. But the vice versa is little bit difficult. But mostly the production to EPC at the early stages that is possible. Next question is production companies are considered to be stable over EPC. What about the job security in EPC? So it is true actually. EPC companies, you might be aware about the hire and fire concept because they don't want to keep the persons ideal. Because if they wanted to keep the persons ideal, they have to pay. So that is why when the project comes, they will have a huge number of engineers requirement. And once the project is completed, they will retain till the next project comes. So big companies definitely for sure they don't they remove the engineers. Small companies, yes, they cannot sustain for a long, so they will ask them to vacate. So, but it doesn't matter. EPC companies are always needed for all the production companies. So, definitely for sure, there are a lot of jobs are there. So, job security wise, EPC company little less security, but however, ample opportunities are there. That is what I wanted to say. The next questions, simple softwares, what the students has to learn, like MS Excel and MATLAB, AspenPlus, Hysis or Pro 2. I wanted to reiterate one thing here. Actually, none of the EPC companies wants the engineers to be expert in that any of the simulation tools. Basically, if you have some exposure in the Excel spreadsheets, how they are operating, that is enough. Some students now may be more into the Excel, doing they can able to do the macros, etc., etc. So, if they can convert your chemical engineering formulas into that spreadsheet, that will be of good help. But basically, all the companies like Petronas or KBR or whoever companies, they will be having their own spreadsheets which are validated, and they will use that only. So you once you are getting to that job, you have to use their own spreadsheets only. Okay. So other than this, this one is add-on skills. If you are having the time and interest, you can do. You can have a high level knowledge on the Aspen Hysis and Pro 2 and HTRA also, and also PipeNet or PipeSim, PipeNet, or PipeSim is there. So those kind of things also, if there is a possibility, you can do, but not a mandatory for getting into the EPC. Okay. What sort of projects can choose from his final year? Okay, it's a good one. Whether one is experimental project or the software simulation project using Ansys, CFD or MATLAB, and then the design project, Aspen or Excel calculations. So I would say if the students are really interested in going to the research and doing a PG and research, they can do this kind of research-oriented job, research-oriented project. But more than 80 to 85% of the engineering students, they are going to looking for the jobs after the undergraduation. Okay. So nowadays, what is happening in this field, during your eighth semester itself, you are asked to get that internship over the different EPC companies. Okay. So you can go to the EPC companies itself during the eighth semester, and then you can do the what the industry needs. Whether they are doing, no, as I told in the presentation, they do a lot of calculations, and then presentations. They will do the line sizing calculations, etc. Okay, so you can take that as one of the project. So recently, actually, some of the students came to the EPC companies, and then they guided, and then they use this industry oriented project, so that is will be helpful during the real usage actually. So as I told in this, you can see hydraulic calculation and line sizing report. This is the industrial oriented project. So there is no need for much of research oriented project in the real UG at the graduate level. PG, I do agree. And UG only if you are going for PG and PhD, then I do agree. You can do the research oriented project. Then any other questions? Actually, the salary range or bracket, many of you might be interested actually. So it depends on the companies to company. Companies to company. Normally, the production companies pay a little lesser compared to the EPC company. However, the production companies, like big production companies like oil and gas refineries, so they pay equally to the EPC company. Okay, but the growth will not be that much fast, because you have to do long stay over there, and then only you can have a little bit promotion. But EPC company, the growth will be quicker, and then the salary rise also will be the quicker. Now, at the same time, you have to expect that unrest can happen. Sometimes the oil prices are going very low, means the projects will be selfed. Selfed means they will keep it in self. They will take up the job only after 2, 3 years when the prices is going to increase. So that kind of uncertainty will be there. But if your skill set matches with the EPC, you can take up EPC and you can go ahead with the EPC job. So the salary range is like some smaller EPC companies, they will pay like even 4 to 5 LPA per annum only. But bigger in companies, they will go to 6 to 8. And very few companies only go up to 10. Okay. But not like IT companies, definitely for sure. The starting salaries will be in this range only. IT companies, you cannot compare. Any questions from the participants, Ken?
Question by
I am now working as inside sales application walls, PRV, Emerson. I continuously applying for process engineer roles in EPC, but I didn't get any replies from the EPC company. The major mistakes I am doing now. Can you share some resume format for the process engineer role actually? So, I'm not sure how many experience he is having in this role, but however, any standard format will do, but he has to apply to the, my suggestion for him is to, he has to apply for all the companies listed in that slide actually. I have slide I had given, no? That one he can go to their website and apply, and they are conducting a lot of walk-ins. So every alternate 2 weeks, monthly once, they are conducting walk-ins. So even if they are not calling you for the process engineer role, you can go to that walk-in and give your resume. Okay, definitely for sure, you will be called for that, and then they are in demand of the people. The freshers getting into the job, I know the difficulties because we also came from the freshers, but the demand is always there. Since he has some amount of earlier work experience, so he will be considered. Only my suggestion is to go to every walk-in and chase behind the L&T or Shell, all the EPC companies. How can one differentiate between chemist and chemical engineer, their role in chemical industry? Do they have anything in common? Okay, okay. Actually, the chemist role will not be played by the engineer. Actually, chemist is only the BSc or MSc chemistry person. They will do the chemist. They will take up the raw material sample and they will do the analysis and also final product or intermediates. That is the chemist role. Whereas the chemical engineer's role is, they, as I told you, EPC company means they will do the engineering and then they will support for the procurement and they will do support for commissioning also, construction support and then inspection support, commissioning support. Whereas the production chemical industry, like the ammonia production or methanol production or fertilizer production, any production industry, they will run the plant actually. They will produce, that is called operation. So they will be called as operation engineer or production engineer or production executive. So either in the Reliance or in the IPCL or SPCL, whatever may be the company, ONGC, oil exploration units, the onshore, offshore, they will run the plant. Meaning to say, they will start the plant and they will make the final production. They will interact with the laboratory people. That is the chemist role. Whereas whoever running the plant, they are called engineers. They are the process engineers. They will interact. Their role is different. Process engineer role is different. Chemist role is different.
I will ask another question,
Okay.
simple question. Say, yeah, in these days, at least the city-based colleges, they are encouraging the students only to do again research project. I am coming to that. But you said like that research skills are not needed, right? More towards better to do some design-oriented project.
Design project.
I think in that way, design projects are much preferred.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Those who are really or wanted to work in EPC companies, that kind of
experience is
enough. No need for definitely for research orientation is definitely not needed. Not needed. Not needed.
Yeah, in the last day itself on Kailas, how about MTechs getting placed in EPC?
MTech.
MTech students.
MTech actually, especially design companies, no, I told those companies who are doing studies, especially studies and concept. They will do the before feed, they will do this kind of engineering. So those kind of people, they will only look for the better skill set people. Like so, they if they go apply only for those companies, they will able to get placed. Not for the regular detail design companies.
Not for
Concept and
Concept
those kind of simulation companies, they will prefer more of PGs rather than UGs.
But that sort of companies, are they available in many?
Yeah, small companies. There are a lot of companies like PMC roles company. Lot of companies are available.
Yeah, you said about PMC.
PMC role companies are there, and also this kind of.
How about any of these companies are doing this PMC job, like L&T, Shell?
No, they are fully EPC. They will do with some third party. Lloyds is one of the PMC company. Those kind of things they will do with the PMC role. In fact, they will swap among this. Suppose if Petrofac is doing of some feed, they will do PMC with Worley. Some Worley is doing feed, they will do PMC with wood, like that. So not the case, same party.
So in that case, wood also will have some
PMC. Yeah. What you need basically the skill set which is having higher upper end. They have to identify what kind of flaws that could happen, what they missed, that kind of overall view. Whether they have taken a proper inputs and then they get the proper design, where the design flaw is happening. That kind of information they're looking.
Maybe the senior person of that company, he can give us.
Audit. Engineering audit, you can say. PMC is nothing but an engineering audit. It's so instead of doing the same company people, if it is done by separate company people, you will get to better understanding of where they went wrong.
So for that, experience itself will matter. Always MTech is needed.
MTech is needed, or the experience, at least 5 to 10 years experience.
That will be also more valuable.
For doing PMC role, at least 5 to 10 years is needed. Less than 5 years, they will use yourself for the preparation or supporting their reports, etc. only.
Okay, again, say for this, I feel like production industry experience will be much more useful, right, at this stage? For this PMC role?
PMC role, definitely yes. Especially when you are, if some companies, they will come and say with some troubles, those troubleshooting and all, no? So EPC companies, personally, if they have only experience in engineering, they cannot visualize what the plant, they cannot think in different angles and they cannot come to a conclusion. Whereas if the person is having a production experience, definitely they might have seen different upsets. And what can go wrong, what all the other important point that can contribute this kind of problem. Those kind of troubleshooting and all, definitely production experience will be helpful. But there is no need for longer duration of production experience. That is what I told in earlier things also. Maybe say, for example, 5 to 10 or 8 years experience, that could be doing. That is enough. Because all the production industries are like same. Whether you are working in the chemical plant or refinery or in the oil exploration, generation, production plant also, everything will be having same kind of operations, mechanical operations or chemical reactions will be. See.
So again coming to the same kind of a thing. So after design, is it possible to go to the production industry after working in for about 10 years of work in design? Then if one wants to go to production,
that is very difficult. That is very difficult, and you cannot accept a lower role there. No, that is the problem. Since you worked up to, say, for example, senior or principal level engineer, if you go to the production industry, it's very difficult to sustain and go there and understand difficulty. So, but if you are having only, say, for example, 5 years experience, so less than 10 years, you can go to the production.
Correct.
If you are crossed the 10 years, better to continue in the consulting business or the EPC business.
Correct. So in that way, better career path would be going for the production at the early, right?
Yes. Production will be a little bit helpful, but if there is a chance, you can go. Otherwise, you can start from the engineering itself.
But later, say, giving this kind of consultancy level, I think production industry experience is mattering a lot.
But they can hire. Now, if you don't have the expertise, you can hire somebody
but still,
like that.
All-rounder is much better. Right?
Yes. If you are in a team, you should have multiple experience. And if you really want to help one person for the problem, so it is like not only 1% effort. It is like if you don't have that skill set, you have to ask.
Mass, correct. And how about, okay, some more thing. These days, many PhDs also coming out, like doctorates. Can they get employed in this EPC? Employment opportunity for much higher education.
Okay,
Like,
after PG itself a little difficult. I told only in the kind of simulation companies or this kind of PMC or auditing companies they can have. PhD they will not take actually. EPC companies they will not take. Suppose if you are a PhD in metallurgy, those kind of thing. So those kind of people they can be act as a consultant, not as a regular employee. They will act as a consultant to the EPC companies. If there is having some material problem, they need for the material expert. They will come to your PhD in metallurgy. In fact, metallurgy department separate they have. So those who are mechanical engineers, they specialized in metallurgy. They will work as a metallurgist.
Yeah, so in the recent time.
Otherwise, PhD definitely
not no. Yeah. So in the recent time, okay, yes, many higher education institutes are coming up, and they want to say publish research projects. So for that, they are taking up MTech and PhD students. But again, once after graduating or after getting this degree, they have to get employment. But this kind of industry, they are not giving these jobs. No, otherwise they should find jobs only in that consultancy
or governmental they have to create actually. If there is a more number of PhD, all cannot be going to the teaching industry, correct? So they can go to this kind of some consultancy, or the government has to create some new jobs for them actually. So definitely industry people very limited only. Okay, or they can look for the licenses. PhD people they can go to the licenses.
But they are very few, right?
Yeah, licenses they cannot take many PhDs. PhD only they will take.
But licenses are they available in India? How many licenses?
No, licenses they have Japanese license are there, and UK, US licenses are there. So their regional offices are there.
Are here.
If you take Halder Topso, they might be having some n number of licenses, more than 50 licenses. They will be having patented. So for that they have to sell to the EPC companies or the client companies. For that, if they have the PhD person, they will be more valued.
Correct.
So that is why if Topso is hiring some PhD person, they can go there. They can do the marketing kind of a job.
Okay, so such companies are there coming up.
They are there. Otherwise, the government has to create some new opportunities for them.
Okay, it's again naturally it has to come. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it was a nice discussion and nice presentation. Okay, any other question from audience? We are having a few more minutes, maybe some 2-3 minutes. People can unmute yourself and maybe if you have any question to ask in oral, no, you are
feel free to ask, and then we are here to help you out.
The speaker here is our Thirumalai, and he has vast experience. Started his career in production for about 15 years, 15 years, and later in design, Varley Parson and what else? McDermott, having variety of experience. So it's a nice opportunity to get your doubts cleared by interacting with you.
One thing I wanted to communicate is that there is a lot of opportunities in EPC. EPC is never ending business, like it is all keep up growing only, because as long as the chemicals needs to be produced, you need to have the industries. As long as you have the industry, you need to have the problem. You will be having a lot of problems that needs to be solved. So either it can be production augmentation, or it can be like troubleshooting, etc., etc. So all these things will come to EPC companies, and you will have a continual business. So no worry about the future of chemical engineering.
Yeah. Whereas these kind of thing are not there 30 years back. 30 years back, after I did my post graduation, I tried companies, but they don't prefer. Actually, they don't expect to have MTechs. Now I think these are
now the company they are accepting.
But still, you face, even you say like BTechs are good enough.
Good enough for EPC. Good enough. Okay, every project needs a different knowledge based on the product. Okay, how to equip that? Any tips? This basically You mean to say the different project means like a steady project and a field project and detailed design project, or the brownfield project? Okay, you are correct. Every project is different on its own kind. But basically you are going to apply same chemical engineering principle only. So once if you are thorough in your chemical engineering subjects, that is good enough actually. So they will not expect you to solve the problem immediately. Those who are the freshers actually. So they will be a part of the team. Okay, so they will be guiding you. They will be having a lot of experience based. If you go to the any EPC company or even the production company, they will have a lot of planned history. Everything will be there in the record. So EPC company seniors will guide you, and the skill set. There is no separate skill set for the beginner level. What I wanted to say is that if you are thorough in your chemical engineering subjects knowledge, that is good enough. So you will be trained over there. You will be guided and trained over there once you are getting to the real job.